2022 has been the home of a lot of big and wonderful JRPGs. JRPGs that have taken me on adventures to other worlds, ones that have told stories with many layers. It's been a year of games that I've been pretty happy with overall. In spite of being happy with so many things, it was actually pretty easy to choose my favorites from the year, as I feel the ones that really stood out were a cut above everything else I played, and are the releases I'm sure I'll remember when looking back on this year, whether that be playing future releases in their series in 2023, or just remembering another great year of games. So with that, these are 5 games I loved most from 2022 as we celebrate another great year of JRPGs and get ready for the next. As soon as I played the demo for Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes, I knew it was something special, as I quickly got into its action gameplay so much that I put way more time into it than I'd intended. Naturally, I continued this time in the full game as it continued its storytelling using multiple routes, and I loved seeing the different moments in each one that led to big events in the core story, or how things could be different depending who I played as. The fact that some of these important moments played out while in its fast-paced battles was extra exciting, especially as it combined these moments with the need to think tactically like you would in a Fire Emblem game, and while Fire Emblem isn't usually as fast-paced as the Muso-infused 3 Hopes, being able to quickly see the fruits of your tactics for better or worse has made it my favorite Fire Emblem system so far, as it felt so good to thoughtfully deal damage in its world. I hope to go back and finish Dimitri's route at some point, whose routes I seem to be historically bad at finishing, but I love that this is a game that makes me want to know everything there is about it, whether it be in social events or the core story, and it's a unique and fun blend of gameplay ideas that felt fun to play and experience a great story in a game that I didn't expect to get wowed by as much as I did this year. The last game I played this year was Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion, and while I had a feeling it would be a great game as Final Fantasy VII Remake was once my game of the year, I maybe only just recovered from its ending that makes it feel really special, and with the rest of the experience feeling constantly fun, possibly thanks to a shorter length, I enjoyed this high-quality RPG a lot that makes me feel comfortable putting it on this list, as it really was a standout game for me this year. Every second in Reunion felt gorgeous, which is a great feat for this once cartoonish-looking PSP game, but with all its charm intact, complete with Zack Fair being a goofy breath of fresh air next to the type of Final Fantasy protagonist we see these days, and his story being something that added a lot of meaning to the world of 7 for me, whether it be learning more about Cloud's background or having certain characters finally feel human in this story that I find myself much more intrigued by that has me considering trying the original, or at least replaying this, as I finally understand how interesting the world of Final Fantasy VII is. Overall, I'm happy this new version of Crisis Core could let me at long last enjoy this part of Final Fantasy VII in a more beautiful way, and also let it float to the top as one of my favorite Final Fantasy games in recent times. How special its story was to me has me especially excited for when we see 7 Rebirth next year, as personally, I've really enjoyed the beautiful retelling of these classic Final Fantasy games and hope to see the trend of these high-quality stories continuing. Another great re-release of sorts from this year was Trails from Zero that also left its PSP home for modern consoles. Its latest version, however, was the first time it's officially been out in English, and I'm glad it's finally made its way properly to the West, as its complex world is an important chapter in the Trails series, and if you've loved any of the Trails games so far, Zero brings in more of the intricate story of the world that can add depth to the ones we've seen already, and has plenty of complex story in its own right, and the way its slower-paced story always felt well worth experiencing definitely helped to make it one of my favorite things from this year. In its massive, usually 10-hour plus chapters, Zero did well from going from humble beginnings to world-impacting ends, seeing Lloyd and the SSS go from their quest of just outdoing the Bracers to breaking down barriers with much bigger consequences, with each moment in between expanding the universe in true Trails style. If you played any of the series, learning about characters you've seen before and knowing how they'll affect the story later is exciting, and regardless, there are plenty of twists and surprises to keep things feeling compelling, with a good turn-based system to top it all off and make it an enjoyable story-based JRPG. It has me so excited to see Trails to Azure next year, as I want to see what will happen next with certain characters, and I love that Zero made me both feel satisfied with how it ends, but still wanting to see where it'll go, as further proof of Falcom's story prowess, as they make people enjoy their game so much that I'm glad helped fill the blank in the Trails series that I look forward to continuing in soon. While I probably have a big bias about the Atelier series as I've come to love it so much, the weather-changing and map-expanding surprise new entry Atelier Sophie 2 in the mysterious part of the series was such a great game for many reasons, with it improving on the systems that already made the trilogy so interesting with its panel synthesis, and the partner system and battles being so well done in this entry that it felt good to get better at using them and enjoy their slicker versions as I played. It also had a fantastic cast of characters, with everyone having a little more than meets the eye to them that made me do all their events so I could enjoy their personalities as much as possible, and this was made even better by its Atelier Plafta DLC, which was also one of my highlights from this year's games, with a colorful candy world reminding me how much I loved exploring and finding hard-to-find ingredients in this world, then turning them into items that progress the story. That's modern touches make it an enjoyable game for any Atelier fan to play. Its weather-changing mechanics make it go above and beyond with its smart world design, and with Gust experimenting with maps like this, it gives me high hopes for the promised very open worlds in Atelier Ryza 3 we'll see next year, with the clever ways of expanding and closing maps making me think Gust are doing well and thinking about how these popular and explorable worlds can be used best. In Sophie 2, these worlds let me do just that and enjoy more time with Atelier's best characters, and has me looking forward to seeing Atelier continue to grow in quality in its next entry early next year. Speaking of quality, Xenoblade has really proved itself as a high-quality JRPG series to me in the 3 entries and DLC I've played of it. There's always plenty to explore, gripping story and twists to get hooked by that makes you want to balance the story and its side content in its big worlds, and the fact that this continued with a wonderful cast in Xenoblade Chronicles 3 make it what I'm happy to call my game of the year for this year. When I think about everything I played this year and what's on this list, I loved those games, but Xenoblade Chronicles 3 hit me on that all-important extra high level where I simply couldn't put it down. I had to know what was going to happen to Mio, Noah, and the rest of the gang as soon as I could. That made me blast through it in my time off in August, and saw me memorably sobbing at this ending in the early hours of the morning because I was so into it as I enjoyed every second in its world. Much like Trails, its side quests also do a great job at expanding on its world, with the added bonus of letting you collect heroes to change up your party with, along with showing you more corners of its vast world, and with everything to explore, it's so easy to get sucked into, especially if you like its story, and I can't wait to explore more in its story DLC, especially with how good its extra content has been before. If you're going to play any one game from this year and you haven't played Xenoblade 3 yet, if you enjoy boundless exploration and story that will take you to emotionally gripping and unexpected places, I absolutely recommend Xenoblade Chronicles 3 as that game, and for me, it's the cherry on top of a great year of games that I hope will lead to an even better one next year. And from this list, I think we've got a good next year in store, as it's reminded me of how at least 4 out of 5 of these game series will continue in 2023 that already makes it easy to anticipate the great things coming next year. There's things like the story DLC for this, Atelier Ryza 3, along with other releases like Rune Factory 3 and Persona 3 and 4 coming to Switch that will see the trend of great re-releases continuing, and series like Trails getting multiple releases next year means that this one flows into the next well. I hope that you all enjoyed playing lots of great games like the ones I've mentioned this year, whether they're your top picks or you have other things that you loved too. One thing for sure is that we can all look forward to continuing these great series, seeing new games, and replaying ones we've loved in 2023 as well, as one JRPG year ends and another great one is set to begin. Thank you for watching this video. Let me know in the comments below your top picks from this year's JRPGs and what you're most excited for in 2023 as well. You can like and share this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to my channel for more JRPG content like this, and ring that bell to get notifications on whenever I post so you don't miss a thing. You can check out more videos here, and you can find me on social media on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, all at JRPG Jungle. Links to those will be in the descriptions below. I hope you're having a good holiday season, and until next time, which will probably be next year, thank you. Bye!